En contra.
In an off-putting and outrageous display of full support to the Zionist entity, the US exercises its veto power on Friday, thwarting an urgent humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza. The US vote against the ceasefire speaks volumes about its complicity in the Zionist occupation's heinous crimes against civilians.
Instead of allowing this council to uphold its mandate by finally making a clear call after 2 months of massacres that the atrocities must end, the war criminals are given more time to perpetuate their crimes. We reject this result and will continue resorting to every legitimate avenue to stop these abhorrent atrocities.
Following the vote, expressions of disappointment and regret flooded in from various nations, acknowledging the unprecedented toll of death and destruction inflicted upon Gaza.
I'd like to point out that while letting the war last, it's self-contradictory to claim you care about Gaza's life, safety and humanitarian needs. It's self-deceptive to advocate the prevention of conflicts spillover. And it is extremely hypocritical to keep talking about the protection of women, children, and human rights. All these, once again, show us what double standards are.
For 2 months, the UN Security Council has not been able to fulfill its function for the maintenance of international peace and security and to demand an end to the bloodshed on the occupied Palestinian territories and in Israel. There is one reason for this: the hard-headed, selfish, destructive position of the USA, which is trying to do everything it can to protect its ally and is essentially prohibiting the UN Security Council from getting involved.
Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas laid blame squarely on the United States, holding it accountable for the bloodshed of innocent Palestinians and denouncing its position as both aggressive and immoral. In a scathing critique, the Palestinian Foreign Ministry decried Washington's repeated use of its veto power, characterizing it as a green light for the occupation to persist in its aggression against the Palestinian people in disregard to all international laws.
Mr. President, colleagues.
This marks the 5th instance of the UNSC's failing in approving a humanitarian truce in Gaza, a consequence of American shielding of the Zionist entity. The recurring failure undermines the credibility of an international body held hostage to the interests of veto-wielding powers, sacrificing humanitarian considerations in the process.